my head up high with a humble heart, knowing Yah is with me. I won't fall apart. The trials will surely come, and hard times, that's for sure. Steadfast in my faith, I'm standing on His word.
So today we are talking about hair, natural products, and the problems that we may suffer from using chemical-laden products. Many of us coming out of the world can definitely give a testimony onto things that we have experienced using chemical products. But before we get into it, I wanted to let you know that you can listen to Wani Community Focus by downloading the Wani app. That's W-O-N-I. It's an app on your phone. And you can listen on Sundays at 9 a.m. and 12 p.m. on WHOI. You can also listen on Wani Radio on, Sundays at 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. That's WONI. You can also join us on Facebook. Look for WONI on Facebook. You can also join Instagram. Look for WONI on Instagram. You can also join us on YouTube, WONI on YouTube, and you can listen to all the wonderful programming there as well. Now, for CC On Air, you can listen to CC On Air, also on YouTube, and you can join me on, where else can you join me? You can join me on Instagram as well. That's CC On Air, SISIONAIR. All right. If you are a business or ministry and you would like to have us interview you so that our community can talk with you and converse and we can help you sell your products, feel free to reach out to me by phone. You can call or text me. The number is going to be 314-384-8431. And we want to thank you so much again for joining us. All right, let's get into it. So, our people have suffered a long time in this land of our captivity. People have sold us many things. We have bought many things that have just been to our detriment, such as food, hair products. We just have been in a bad place, basically. But now that we have come into the truth, of course, we know that there are better things available for us because Yah has already provided what we need. So we don't have to seek out these toxic chemicals that are harmful to us. So, of course, when you come into the truth, you start doing better. So what I wanted to do was, if it allows me to, I wanted to talk with you about what I have found on the internet. So there's actually a couple of, here we go, right here. A couple of articles that recently came into my phone, really. And it's funny because this was just like last week. So I'll kind of go over these articles. So this is from Yahoo News and it's from GMA. So GMA is actually Good Morning America. Now, I don't support any of these industries or whatever, but this is just the articles that were written. This one was Wednesday, August 25th, 2021. And it says it's a 4-minute read. So that's not very long, but yes. So it says black hair is professional. Woman proudly rocks natural hair for new headshot. And it says, there was a time when Coy Martin didn't always feel at ease wearing her natural hair in professional settings until now. On LinkedIn, Vidant Health Administrative Fellow Coy Martin, who lives in North Carolina, shared her latest headshots where she is seen wearing a black blazer, pearl earrings, and a head full of her beautiful Afro-textured hair. She also revealed that this was the first headshot she'd ever taken with her natural hair. I have always taken my professional pictures with straight hair because that has always been deemed the professional, well, I'll say, quote, professional look, said Martin. Over the past year or so, I have become more comfortable rocking my natural hair in professional settings, and I could not feel any better. So here, of course, we see a picture of the sister, as she said, rocking her natural afro, and she looks beautiful. looks like she has got, like if she did decide to flat iron that hair or straighten it or even do some twists, she would have a lot of length. So shout out to her. That is beautiful. That is how Yah made her. So we want to be thankful that she's coming to that information. So then also, let's see here. Let's go to, there's another one somewhere. Trying to navigate this thing here. And let me see if I could go back. Okay, go back. Okay, so that's one article. All right. There's another article. Here it is right here. I hope you all can see this, but if you can't, I'm reading it anyway. This one is actually from, what is this one from? I guess it's from Opinion. That's what it says, Opinion. Hair relaxers could be harming Black women. We're calling on big brands to stop selling them. Now we know that this has been information for years, but you know, mainstream, they like got to get their bid in for some income. But it says an Oxford University report found that women repeatedly using hair relaxers containing lye could be 30% more at risk of breast cancer. And it says one thing most Black women have in common is that at some point in our lives, we have all relaxed our hair. And that's true. You know, Black women have used hair relaxers, a cream that straightens our natural curls and coils for generations. As a child, I remember spending hours in the salon with my mom, must be somebody from England, watching countless others who look like her enter, sit in a chair, have the relaxing cream slathered on, and leave looking like women ready to go out into the world. The first time I had my own hair relaxed, I was around 10 years old. We knew relaxers were made of strong stuff. Often they burn your scalp, but none of us knew how strong, or that these products could make us seriously, fatally unwell. A shocking report published by Oxford University last month found that Black women who repeatedly, 7 times a year, use hair relaxers containing a chemical called lye could be 30% more at risk of breast cancer. Lye, also known as sodium hydroxide, is a heavy-duty chemical used in paint stripper and drain unblocker, and it features unshamedly in hair products by big beauty brands, including some marketed at children, available in the UK. This is not the first time concerns have been raised about chemicals in hair relaxers. L'Oreal has faced a number of unsuccessful US lawsuits in recent years, with thousands of women claiming that the brand's lye and no lye components have caused hair loss and scalp burns. As long as products containing these substances remain on the shelves, Black women and girls across the world could be at risk of serious health conditions. That's why I co-founded the No More Lies campaign. Okay, so it's going into what she's talking about with her campaign, but I'm not trying to promote her campaign. I don't know her like that. So meanwhile, back to what I was talking about, these different chemicals that we have been using over the years have not been a benefit to us at all. They just have not been a benefit to us. So we have to make sure that we are doing something different. We are teaching other people to do different things as well, and educate those that don't know that hair relaxers are toxic. It's not just breast cancer. I mean, they cause all kinds of endocrine disruptors. And if you know anything, your endocrine system is very important. Your body is part of a greater system that Yah created. And if you disrupt that, if you poison it, then you start going downhill. You start getting sick, cancer, thyroid issues, you name it, skin issues, just all kind of things. And of course, we introduce these things to young girls. I mean, I've seen young girls as early as like 3 years old getting relaxers. Why? Because mom does not want to battle doing the hair, you know. But I attribute that to lack of education, honestly. Like, why would you put these chemicals on your hair and your growing child's hair? You know, we don't realize that our skin is the largest organ of our body. You know, our skin is one of the gates that Yah talks about in the word. We're supposed to guard our gates, watch our gates, protect our gates. But, you know, think about your pores. Your pores are gates. So you have scalp, you have skin, and when you put toxic things on them, you know, you're going to get sick, especially over time. You know, this poison information is stored in your body and you just end up getting sick. And we wonder, oh goodness, well, why is this going on? Why am I having this? What's happening now? You never can tell what toxic effect these chemicals will have on your body, you know, so you want to make sure that you stop using them. You know, I recently, Friday, talking to my friend, and her hair looked really nice. I was like, wow, her hair looks nice. So I just automatically assumed that maybe she just had a flat iron. She told me no, she said she got a relaxer. And I didn't go in depthly about it. But we do still have people out here getting relaxers. So we have to be the information people, you know, telling people how toxic these things are. And oftentimes, because people don't see it like at first, they just really don't take into consideration that it is breaking their bodies down. I remember even getting like a carefree curl back in the day. You know, that's the biggest scam ever. These people, I mean, we won't even get into the beauty industry yet, you know, like what they're doing to us and who they are. But how in the world did we let these people sell us curl products in containers when our hair naturally curls? We basically, and I was a hairdresser, so I know, we basically got a chemical treatment done to our hair to make it curly, which is dumb because it's already curly. So what they would do, if you've never had a curl, or if you have had a curl, you do know this. They go in with ammonium thioglycolate is what it's called. It's a straightener, just like sodium hydroxide is a straightener. So sodium hydroxide would be the regular relaxer. Ammonium thioglycolate, or thio, is the other chemical that is used to straighten hair, like when you're going to get a curl. So they straighten your hair with the whole process and your hair straightened. And then they wash that out. Then they put you on the perm rods. They roll your hair with the desired curl, you know, like if you want looser curls, you're going to use like the big rods, which are purple or whatever. If you want a tighter curl, then it's going to be like, I think, gray or pink rod, something like that. But no, I don't mean to do a hair lesson, but that's just what it is. So they put that stuff in your hair, then they put more chemicals on top of that, and you're going to get in a dryer and all this other stuff, you know, just chemicals on top of chemicals. Plus you're in the salon and you're breathing in all this toxic stuff. It is just absolutely ridiculous. So we would think that people have come out of this, but of course not. People are still getting perms. I know people are still getting curls. That's just ridiculous. And we don't understand how this is breaking our body down. So, you know, today we want to talk about that. You know, I kind of went on and on, but I mean, it's just important that we continue to be informing our people of what is going on and how we have been bamboozled, and we continue to be bamboozled. I think it was Malcolm X. Well, it was Malcolm X that, you know, he had a speech where he said, who told you, you know, that your hair was no good? Who told you that your nose was big? Who told you all these negative things about yourself? Who told you that? Like, what are we following? We're following Europeans. Well, should we say European? Because the first Europeans, I think that they were brown, but we'll just say white folks. Okay. We're following white folks of what they look like, you know. But yeah, I mean, there's so much more that I could say, but we actually have a guest today, and we want to make sure that you know about her products, because she has come into the truth, of course, and she's got products that she's going to talk to us about. And her name is Sister Yapha, and her company is called Fruit of Her Hands. She actually is also a part of another organization called Sisters Helping Each Other, or SHE, which you can find them on Instagram if you just type in S.H.E. Okay, so again, Sisters Helping Each Other. They are out of Atlanta. So let's tell you a little bit about Sister Yapha and her company. So it is called Trusting. Okay, no, it's not. It's called Fruit of Her Hands, but her bio says Trusting Your Roots by the Fruit of Our Hands. Okay, so they are going to help you maintain a healthy scalp, and they also focus on improving scalp dryness, stopping fungal growth, and healing the hair follicles that have been damaged by neglect or health issues. Now that sounds like what I've just been talking about. We have definitely neglected our bodies and done many things that, our bodies don't have to come back from, but of course we can pray and ask God to heal us, and we have to repent for those things that we've done to our bodies, because our bodies are a temple. It's supposed to be holy and acceptable unto Him. But as we have put these things on our skin, on our scalps, we have not made it a holy place. So we want to definitely welcome our sister Yapha to the program. Shalom,
Shalom,
sis.
shalom.
How are you?
I am well. I was like, okay, am I trying to put my screen back on? I hope you guys can see me because I can't see myself. But
yes, we can definitely see you. How are you doing?
I am doing well, and thank you. And how are you this evening?
I am so blessed to be in your presence. How about that?
All praises I am as well with you, because you're awesome. We've met before. Of course, we were doing the She interview.
Yes.
But to get down to it, what you spoke about was absolutely true. I went through a journey. I had to go through a self-examination journey before this journey, before the hair care and beauty product journey. I went through the Dominicans, like you said. I went and got my hair straightened faithfully. Yes.
I used to work for the Dominicans, so that blow dry process is something crazy.
It's tedious, it's crazy, and it's harmful, very harmful to your hair. And I noticed that a lot of times, like you said, we want to fit into the, not European, but what they say is the business aspect, more professional, laid or slicked hair, status quo.
Yes.
We wanted to fit into that category, so much so where we didn't know that that's what we were doing. I literally had to have a self-reflection to understand why I was doing it. My alarming part, what went off alarms for me was one day I washed my hair and it would not curl. In places there were strands of straight hair that did not revert back to my curl.
You blew out your cuticle.
I tore my hair up. The cuticle, it had lost all its curl memory. It was gone. And I almost had a breakdown because at one point, like what we thought was long hair, or we prided ourselves off of a certain beauty standard. And I felt like, I had long hair, but it was damaged.
Yes.
And we're not really realizing the damage that we do, not only to our hair, but to our scalps and also to our emotions and our spirits. We are so attached to the standard of beauty that literally we become spiritually attached to it. Emotionally attached to it. That we feel like we can't let go of the strands that are damaged. We feel like we can't let go of the image, though we damage our own image in retrospect. We are damaging our own natural image to become the image of something that doesn't even belong to us.
Exactly. And then what about how far we will go? We will actually wear wigs to look like that.
Exactly.
And weaves.
Exactly. And that's one thing I never participated in. I felt like I did it one time for like a party with an image for that. And it felt like a hair hat. And it was the most irritating experience I've ever had in my entire life as far as with this hair. It wasn't because I didn't have length, and that's a whole different story. A lot of our sisters focus on length and not the health of their hair, not the health of their scalp. And like I tell anybody, anything that grows, the nutrients is coming from the roots.
Yes.
What ground are you planting in? What ground are you growing from? If that is not healthy, you're not going to get a healthy product. And at this point, it's your hair.
That's true.
And let's take it even further. From on top of your head, if you're the person doesn't have a healthy spirit in knowing who they are and accepting 100% who they are, they're not going to be a healthy person to appreciate the healthy process of being able to love themselves.
And how many times do we have to see cycles repeat over and over again? Meaning, you've got a mom and she is passing these ways down to her daughter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's self-taught hate. That's why we don't realize it, because we think it's normal. If a person grows up in an abusive situation, they think abuse is normal and kindness is not. Self-hate is taught.
Wow.
It's literally taught subconsciously that I didn't realize I hated myself until I asked myself why I was doing it in the first place. It was literally, I had to deconstruct myself at that point. I had to say, why are you straightening your hair in the first place? What was your goal? What was it that you were getting from this? Why are you doing this? What is the root of me being so attached to that look? And sadly, the answer was self-hate.
Wow.
Although I was like, no, it's because I wanted to look professional. Oh, it's sleek. Oh, it's too much to do my hair. It's time consuming. But what a lot of sisters don't realize, they wash their wigs, they dry their wigs, they condition their wigs, they curl their wigs. And I'm like, if you took that time and you put it into your hair, you would not need a wig.
Exactly.
I literally cut off all my hair. I talked to my cousin, and she was very, very much so like a person of she just loved natural anything, all black, natural, everything. Ever since I've known her, she's always been that person, very, very confident in herself.
That is amazing.
I admired it about her.
Yeah.
I realized my own self-hate though. It was just, before that, she was just my cousin who went through different hairstyles. She was, sister locks, the shortcuts, the afros. She was just her. And I felt like that was her personality, not that was her as a person. That's the difference. That was her as a person. She was equipped with being her that she was born with. Wow. She was equipped with loving what she was born with all her life. And my aunt is another person who always was into natural things, but the rest of my family was not. And those two, like, they just were different from everyone else, from what we say different. But what we weren't realizing is those were people who accepted and loved themselves.
Now, the aunt was that your cousin's mother?
No. Oh, funnily, she was not my cousin's mother. She was her mother's sister.
Okay.
My cousin's mother, she wore perms and things like that. She was in the medical industry. So it was like, at that point back though, in those days, it was like looked down upon that we wore curly hair or big hair or natural hair. And the funny thing is what we weren't understanding was, but they got curly perms and they got thicker hair and they got added hair to get volume for their hair, which it was urban for them, but it's ghetto or ratchet for ourselves.
Just
something
like
that naturally, something that naturally belongs to us doesn't belong on us, but it belongs on them. It's like they are so used to stealing and deceiving you into thinking that you shouldn't have it. And we fall for the trick every time. Understanding that we're literally trading what is naturally ours and giving ourselves to them.
And they love cultural appropriation is what it is.
Exactly. And then they push their own culture onto us to force us to be able to work, be able to feel comfortable in a work environment. It's like you have to work on yourself, not on yourself in a positive way, but work to deconstruct yourself in order to work for them. Right.
It's like you look like they want you to look like them. They want to look like us, but what is in the middle of that? You look crazy. Like, look at all these eyelashes. Everything is fake and false. And not only that, what I keep saying is, what is happening is now everybody looks like a transgender.
Yes, but that's how they can get away with it. Yeah. Because of all of the things that we have to do not to look natural, that natural not to look natural.
It's natural not to look natural. And that is so backwards. It's really, really crazy. But I don't know why we don't see it, but that's exactly what's happening. My husband just showed me a picture of a transgender that was a woman, but completely looks like a man. So we know the flip side is there as well.
Yes.
You have the man who now looks like a woman. And I've heard them saying that they don't feel that they need to disclose that to people because they are now a woman. And then that's how they end up getting killed. You know, seriously,
Right.
that's just it.
Right.
Like you can't just be deceiving people like that. Can't
Right.
do that because people don't want to sleep with a man. I mean, there's
Right.
plenty of them out there that do want to sleep with a man. We know that it is
Right.
all an abomination, but you can't be fooling people and think that they're not going to go off. A real man
Right.
is probably going to kill you.
And I mean, and well, so in their heart, in their mind, and their soul justified for it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I'm just going to say this a lot of times, and I had this conversation before, is that I blame a lot of these men being able to get involved with other men by faking to be women, or a lot of our insecure, unloving, self-hated women that are out here putting palettes on their face. I mean, piles, and changing the design of their face, changing the structure of their nose, changing the shape of their lips, changing their hair. It's not that we can't grow hair. We can. We are just determined not to, because we'll rather stick, Brazilian's hair on top of our head. We'll rather, go and get synthetic hair and put it on top of our head, and not really caring for yourself. And what they don't understand is self-care. And the self-care is not just physical. It's literally a spiritual battle. It's literally a spiritual thing. You have to love yourself enough to love what the Father gave you.
But you're not going to do that in a fast food society.
And it's sad. Like my point in this company was, I noticed that a lot of us are focused on length. That's why they have these wigs, and that's why they're hot selling, and that's why they're just everywhere, where they can make millions and billions of dollars and send their children to school with our hard-earned money, because our sisters want length. We want to be able to, which I'll say, look how long it is. Look how long this is. Sad thing is, when we look at it biblically, we had that here.
We do.
It was a haughtiness that took it away.
Yes.
Now, my thing was, when but it's not that we can't get it back, but humility must come first. Then self-love must come first. Accepting exactly what the Father gave you first, because He is perfect in His design. He did not give you more than what you can handle. He knows what you could do if you actually worked on it. We work on so many other things. We spend hours putting makeup on, being someone else, when we could just spend minutes loving the person that the Father gave. Loving just you. And it's like, I cut off all my hair. I said, you know what? I'm going to cut it all off.
I'm going to start over.
I'm going to start over. And when I tell you, the stylist, when I went to the salon, the stylist that cut my hair, when I tell you, she did not use nice words. She was like, do you know how many women want long hair? And it was like, you're a stylist. You should know that it's not about the length. It's not about the length at all. It's about the health of me. And it's about the spirit of me. I have to reintroduce myself to me, because I forgot who I was. I literally forgot who I was. I lost who I was as a girl needing to have my hair straightened. Right.
You lost who you were in
Exactly.
and you had to redefine who you were. So that is sad that you had a stylist that was not understanding that. But of course, we know for the love of money is the root of all evil, and they would like to have you continue on in the evil. So sis, what we're going to do is we're going to take a small break, and then we're going to come back and continue this worthy conversation. We are talking to our sister Yapha about self-care, natural hair, skin products, all the things that we need to know about as human beings, but of course our Israelite community. We need to come out of darkness. So sis, you were talking to us. We were talking about how it is so easy now for transvestites, or people who, is that even the right word? Transgender. I think I'm like from the 70s, transvestites. You know, they change it so much. I'm like,
Yes, they do.
can we
Yes,
just,
they do.
can we have one word for it all? It's just weird. But yeah, so we're talking about you and having to find your self-worth. And we're also talking about the simplicity of transvestites now, or transgenders now, to look like regular women. So keep going with what you were talking about.
Yes. Well, basically, just to get on the transgenders, I believe a lot of it is our own fault, because a lot of times we are insecure, and we have created unknowingly, but you know, Satan has very, very good patience. We have created an environment for these type of people to be able to blend in, because we are so concerned about blending into a culture that does not accept us, to a culture that does not belong to us. Then just like they are mixing into a gender that does not belong to them. It's so easily influenced. We are so easily influenced that we have been infiltrated by ideas that never belonged to us. They were given to us. They were given to us and then handed down from generation to generation to generation, of lack of love for ourselves, lack of respect for ourselves, lack of acceptance of ourselves, lack of appreciation for ourselves, to the point where we're hating each other. We hate ourselves so much that we hate each other. And the root cause of it is self-hate.
We look for reasons to hate each other. I find, like, I have to do a check on myself sometimes, because you know, you could walk in a room now, because we were talking, you and I were talking before, I was raised in Alaska, and being raised in Alaska, it's we are the world system, multicultural, blah, blah, blah. Now, other people that were not raised that way, they can still have the same testimony. Sometimes you are the only sister or brother in the room. And so unfortunately, I believe we get used to that. We get used to that strange attention that we get. And I'll call it strange attention because it's mostly negative. You know, people wanting to touch your hair, people asking you stupid questions, people thinking that they can treat you any old kind of way. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So we get used to that strange attention. So then when someone else comes along, we're immediately scrutinizing them, because guess what? Deep down inside, we already know that they are comparing us. Like, oh, well, she's not like that black girl over there. She's a different kind of black girl. Or they think that they know a black girl, so they know all black girls. You know, it's just this strange thing. And we start doing that to each other. We know good and well that we are not a monolithic people. You know, we are very diverse. You know,
exactly.
But they like to think that we are a one-trick pony. Like, oh, okay, well, she should be like that. Or it's just really sick the way that we have let them manipulate our minds into hating each other.
Exactly. Exactly. And I was just going to say that they literally think that when they have that one black, and I put in quotes, friend, because we're their experiment. We're never their friends.
No.
That we speak for every black woman.
Yes.
That we are the definition of black women around the globe, because you know two black women.
Right.
And then they have the insult of thinking that they're compliments or complimentary to you, and they're not.
They're not.
I remember at one point, like, I was working at a job, and I was working as a nurse, right? And I used to travel, and I used to teach other nurses how to basically build a system. They were computer system. They were going from, you know, basic to, you know, being electronic with the filing and everything. And I was basically teaching them how to build their system.
Yes.
And and I remember my head wrap had kind of slipped, and the office was closed at the time, and it was just the staff, and it was all women. Luckily for me. You know what I mean? But my hair wrap kind of slipped, but I'm the only black woman there. No, it was two. One of us wore, you know, green, long, and then there was me. Okay.
She was a culturally appropriate woman.
Exactly. And at this time, I had found myself. I had loved myself. I was in my head wrap, and I had told this job in particular, when I went into the interview, I said, do you see this head wrap? Do you see these fringes? If any of it has to go, do not hire me.
There you go.
I'm telling you, don't, because I am not going to change for you. And I remember being sent home from different offices that were not comfortable with my blackness.
Wow.
Early. for this particular company. And I worked at this particular company for years.
Mm.
And it was a lot of compliments that went around that weren't complimentary to me as a Black woman.
Right.
When my head wrap slipped off this day and I went to put it back on, at this time I was growing my hair probably about 3 years at the time, maybe 2. But I had a voluminous amount of hair and it was long. I felt this heat coming towards me. And I looked back and it was one of them trying to touch my hair. And I looked at her, and if looks could kill, she would have probably been dead today.
Wow.
And I looked at her and she was like, I just want to touch it. And her compliment was, my gosh, you look like Whoopi Goldberg from Sister Act, only your hair is real.
Oh,
not that I looked like her physically, but my hair was big and beautiful. So it looked like that.
What? Oh, wait, forget about the looks could kill. I think I would have reached behind and killed her myself.
I looked at her and I said, do you believe that was a compliment? She was like, no. What I'm saying is there's no. What you said was what you said.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? First off, don't touch me.
Right.
Without my permission. Okay.
Right.
By all definition, that's harassment.
Yes.
Okay? Secondly, don't you ever think that is a compliment. And you seriously need to search yourself if you think that that's a compliment. I have been told I was pretty for a Black girl. I have been told that, oh, I like you because you're not like those Black girls.
Whoever they are.
What are those Black girls? What are those? Could you elaborate?
Right.
But those were compliments that were not complimentary to me, like I said, as a Black woman. And we do so much, and it just made me realize how much we do to damage ourselves to be accepted by these people that would never accept us. No. They were trained not to accept us, just like we were trained not to accept ourselves.
Exactly. And it doesn't change. We keep trying to find the good in them. And even though we know that they're going to show us the bad in them, we continue giving them a chance instead of giving ourselves a chance. When we give ourselves a chance, we will accept what is going on and then begin healing ourselves and know that we are okay how we are. There's nothing wrong with our hair. It doesn't have to be long and flowing. It has to be what it's going to be. But even whatever it's going to be, they don't get to touch it. Exactly.
And the thing is, we can have our hair long and flowing.
Right.
But the goal is not the flowing, it's the health first. And I mean, emotional and physical health as far as our scalp goes. When we put perms in our hair, we cause ourselves to have, alopecia, with permanent, hair loss, or to them permanent hair loss, because we don't know exactly how to treat it. They will. When you're uneducated, you don't know how to treat it.
Right.
You know what I mean? We have fungus that builds in our hair. We have, like you said, pores. The things that we put on our hair, it does not just stay on our hair. It get absorbed into the body.
Yes.
And then what is the closest besides the skin? It's the brain. Okay. And then you're wondering why we have all of these emotional breakdowns in these things. It's a chemical imbalance. It's chemical that you're putting on your hair. So it's going to be chemical that you're absorbing in your skin. So then there's going to be a chemical imbalance within the body.
Yes. You are absolutely right. And I will add to that, like, it's more than just our hair. It's also our skin. And what I have discovered recently, it's also our eyeballs. Because I am one that has worn contact lenses since I was 19 years old. But the Holy Spirit told me that it is these contact lenses that are giving me migraines. I said this on another program, but I will keep saying it because it's something that we need to know. We look at all these plastics and they may say BPA free, but it's still plastic. They change like underwear every day, what it is that they will and won't approve. But common sense tells you that is a foreign object leaching chemical into your body, and you're wondering why you're sick. You're wondering why you're having all these problems that they then want to prescribe medication for. No, you need to go ahead and decide that you're going to remove these things from your body. And that's what I did.
Exactly.
I've been contact lens free for like 3 months now. And I'm like, well, it's funny how we make these things part of our identity, but you need to be who you are. And and Yah calls me healthy. And
Exactly.
if I'm going to follow that, then I need to listen to what he has told me that, which is making me unhealthy,
Right.
You have to
Right.
put down those wigs, put down those weaves, take off those snuffleupagus eyelashes. I'm just going to say it.
My gosh.
Yeah,
Yes.
they look terrible. The glue that you're using, all these things are toxic and they're meant to kill, steal, and destroy.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's so sick.
That's what they're not understanding. Like, let's think about, they've become with more advanced ways to put weaves in. And I'm not saying, okay, there's people that have hair issues that sometimes when they want to feel, beautiful in a way, just when they're going out to throw something on, you know what I mean? But that's why the father gave us head wraps. But either way,
okay.
Even if they just had it for a cosmetic reason for those particular things.
Yes.
But my thing is, what are you doing to assist with healing that?
Right.
You know what I mean? We go into the idea of trusting these doctors where they're like, oh, you lost your hair, there's nothing that you can do, as if there's no way to heal your follicles. But they're cloning people. You mean to tell me that you can clone a whole human being and there's no way to heal my hair follicles? You are lying, and there's no truth in you.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's absolutely, everything is holistic. If we come from the earth, then what's going to heal us is the earth.
Absolutely.
Okay? It's the earth is against you. The sun is against you. Those things are against your DNA. But those things were built. He said that he made the world for our sake. Meaning that anything that's in this earth is going to heal us. If you can't put it in your mouth, you shouldn't put it on your head, because either way it's going to enter you. That's what I wanted people to know about. I focused on the health of my scalp. I focused on the health of my hair. And not to say that my hair didn't grow, because my hair is well past my waist. It is. But I wasn't focused on length. I was literally focused on health, building myself back up to believing that I was beautiful, because I was told that I wasn't beautiful for so long that I subconsciously thought it. In the forefront, I was like, oh, I'm cute, I'm a hair slinging. But in the middle of it all, the truth of it all, I didn't believe that. We can't believe that. If we're covering all of this beauty up with plastic and synthetic hair and putting someone else on top of our head, how could we think that we're beautiful when we hide ourselves from ourselves?
How can you? And the thing is, we don't understand how deep the rabbit hole runs. I mean, there's so many webs to this. Okay, who's selling us these things? They're making a great profit. And these people who are selling it to you abuse you in more ways than one. They extort money from you, first of all. Secondly, they think you're stealing when you go in their stores, although you are the one that is actually making the wheel go round for them. Let's see, what else is there? There's also sacrifice, like this weed that you're putting on top of your head was sacrificed to somebody's God, and you're putting this on your head, which is the control center of everything. It's very symbolic and it's very spiritual, and we don't realize these things, and you wonder why you're crazy. And what about the chemicals that they put in that hair to actually sell it to you? There's so many different things and so many reasons why we should not be using these products. But I mean, we could go on and on forever. This could be like a series going on every week. I'm telling you, because coming out of her is what we're supposed to be doing every single day, looking for ways to come out of her. But you know what? I see people trying to get back in her.
Thank you. And it says that we're supposed to be reborn. That means, there's a different type of birth. You know what I mean? That go back in. You're not going back into your mother.
Oh, goodness.
But you are going back into the knowledge of knowing who you are, accepting who you are, and knowing who you are, or how great you are as a people. Another thing that people are not understanding is it says that we're supposed to cover our head when we're praying and prophesying and things of that nature, right? That means like there's spirits that are attached to your hair, to anything that's in you. You know what I mean? With blood, there he said that there's life and there's spirit within the blood. Okay, when you're cutting off your hair, it's a living thing. Okay? Yes. And you're putting someone else's spirit on you, and when you take on a different spirit, think about this. A lot of these women put these wigs on their head and they become different people. They become more rowdy sometimes, depending on the spirit of whom you've gotten that origin of hair from. Where did you get it? how did they act? What was their spirit? And why are you willing to take it on for beauty standards? There is something wrong with you with vanity. Before pride, like with pride, it comes before destruction.
That's right.
You know what I mean? You are not understanding how much you are destroying yourself by allowing these spirits within you. Within you. It's a lot of times I know that we're talking about physical hair growth and scalp and everything, but we're not understanding that the root of it is who we are in the nucleus, in the middle of it all. Is what is it that we're accepting? What is it that we're susceptible to? What is it that we're allowing ourselves to be replaced with? Because we are truly allowing ourselves to be replaced. We are literally just a vessel for their control. We're supposed to be a vessel for our Father's control.
Yes.
But we're literally turning our vessels, pouring him out and letting them pour themselves in.
And you know what? We're supposed to be the teachers of what it is to be, you know, but we have allowed them to be us. We have allowed it, you know, and with that, there's much confusion. You know, you can see it every day. I mean, every single day you're seeing much confusion. And we've talked about this before. It's not just with the youth, it's with the elders. If you don't have the elders willing to put down the wig, then why in the world would the young people do that? No, they're going to do what they see. And if you are being ratchet, rude, crazy because of that spirit that you put on top of your head, you better believe they're looking for a wig that'll do that for them too.
And they think that it is powerful. A lot of times what they think being loud and clamorous is, I ain't gonna let they think it's strength. It's the saddest thing I've ever seen in my life.
It's sad.
They literally, now one thing about that, I never thought it was cute. Now I had a lot of confused people in my family about a lot of things, but that is one thing that they did not play. They believed in conducting yourself.
Yes.
At least a human.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
At least the human level.
At least the human. And I mean, and at the bare minimal of human, to sit up there and they be like, no, ain't gonna tell me nothing, and I'm gonna do this, and their head is just a wagging, and it's the saddest sight to see. And they think that this is strength. As a woman, I'm a Black woman, and that's where they get this delusion of angry Black woman. Right. But what it is confused, saddened, depressed, lost Black woman. That's what she is. It's not that she's angry; she's literally lost. And I'm laughing because I'm just imagining.
And they're getting it from TV. Like we're getting our identity from TV.
Housewives of Atlanta, all of these other things where they feel like they have to display this. And it's not strength. True strength is knowing that you are correct in holding your tongue.
That's right.
Do you know how hard it is to just be like, you know what? I'll let you learn by your own actions. You think that quietness is a weakness, but when you're quiet, you hear everything that goes on around you.
That's right.
You hear the plots to the left, and you see the actions on the right, and you can focus on the middle, and you can actually be aware of all things in your quiet.
Yes, you're more visual. You're more visual because we have all these senses, and there's more than what they tell us, but we have all these senses. So if you close your mouth, you know, the old saying is, Yah gave you 2 ears to listen and 1 mouth to talk. And there was a reason for that, right? So the thing is, when you close your mouth, it opens up the other senses for you to be able to receive what it is that you're supposed to receive. You see more, you know, therefore you can do more. When you see more, you can do more, and you know exactly what to do. But unfortunately, when we look at mainstream, the world, mainstream as a whole, you see that behavior, that very bad behavior. I mean, that's just very bad behavior. And we see women who feel like they don't need a man, but then they're having children. Well, you obviously needed a man because you have these children. I mean, come on, like you're not a worm. You didn't procreate by yourself. You need a man. And we have another subject. We've totally lost the structure of the home and what it's supposed to be.
Absolutely. But that all comes from those same women that look the same way. They've all become carbon copies of each other. Oh, literally like human Barbie experiments. And the I don't need a man thing. Oh my gosh. Okay. Because I'm an independent woman. So this is what I propose. And this is what I ask women all the time. And I mean it from the bottom of my heart. And I seriously, truly mean? And if someone can answer this question, okay. An independent woman, they be like, because I buy my own clothes, I pay my own bills, I do this and I do that for myself. Cool, okay. I'm not saying that that's not a good thing. You're supposed to be able to care for yourself and to buy your own clothes and to pay your own bills, and until you become into a partnership. But that's where you partner with someone, where you don't have to literally buy your own clothes and pay your own bills and do all that. That now you have a partner. However, I tell them I know a lot of single men, including my sons. Okay, I know a lot of single men. Well, one of my sons is married, but I know a lot of single men who pay their own bills and buy their own cars and they pay. But I've never heard the slogan "independent man." Can you tell why? Ever. There has never been a slogan "independent man." That only gave you the strength, or the false sense of strength of, I don't need someone, because you don't know how to humble yourself to keep somebody. That's the difference.
And you're afraid.
Exactly. I don't need you because I can do this on my own. You can't, because when he wasn't there, you were struggling.
Exactly.
When he wasn't there, you were lonely, and when you weren't there, he were calling one night stands who don't respect you. This is the thing where you don't understand that you're submitting to someone every day, regardless of the point. Because if these some women, and a lot of them, and I'm not putting all of us on this one scale, but a lot of times we have women that hey, they go to work. Let's just talk about something as simple as work, because some of us do own our own businesses, but simple as work. If they give you a schedule, you know what you're going to do? Submit to their time. You're going to submit your time card. You're going to be there early and you're going to leave late sometimes, but you're going to submit to their time standards that they need for you to be there. When you go and you sign up for these public, help, they tell you to submit your paperwork, submit your birthday, submit your social security number, submit your hours of pay from work, submit your pay stubs, submit. And these people know you by your social security number, and that's it. Right. But you won't submit to a man that can tell you that you're upset on a phone conversation and you never said nothing.
Wow.
You can't submit to a man that can tell your scent. You can't submit to a man that you submit to physically, but you won't submit to emotionally and spiritually. There's a difference with the submission, but you're going to submit to somebody that only knows you by a number.
That's demonic.
It's very demonic. And they tell you that you don't need it. But this is why this walk is different, because when I tell you, I learned all of these things, and I know they're like, how'd this get this from hair?
Oh, wait, it's all full circle. So if there's anybody out here wondering, yes, it's all full circle.
And I'm going to tell you how.
Bring it back around.
How I got it from hair and how I got to this point from hair, because it all started from a hair journey. Okay. When I cut off my hair, I felt like the next day I was going to regret it. I stood firm on it. I decided it. I was going to do it. But then in the back of my mind, and I believe like seeds are planted, when this woman was telling me about myself, although I defended it, what I was doing, it was a seed planted. And I thought that I was going to wake up the next day in regret. I didn't. I woke up the next day feeling more powerful than I've ever felt in my life. I felt invigorated. I felt free from the standard of something. And I didn't realize on what I felt free from, but I actually felt free. I felt like I had shackles removed from me.
Wow.
I really did. And I was like, wow, okay. And then I started to take care of my hair. I started to love my hair. I started to be like, you know what, you're beautiful. You're not beautiful because of, you're physical, because I've never liked that quote. Someone told me, like, especially, I hated when someone used to say, hey, I like you, girl.
That's like, what?
What do you like about me? Oh, you pretty, you got light brown eyes.
Right. Okay.
Sir, that's DNA.
And that's a lot of people. So you like a lot of people.
It's like I have nothing to do with that. That was my parents' mixtures of chromosomes. The father, he put it together. That was not me. Me is who I choose to be. Me is the person that writes poetry. Me is the person that cares about my neighbor. Me is the person that wants to go and feed the homeless. Me is the things that I choose to do. That is me. If you actually liked me, you would know these things about me because you would have invested in knowing them.
Right. Right.
So I invested in me. I invested in knowing me.
Mhm.
I literally had not wrote poetry in years at one
Wow.
point because I couldn't think about it. Why? Because I had lost contact with that person who wrote.
Ah.
I could not be me. And when that thing finally got released,
Mhm.
I found peace. I found love. I
Mm.
found respect for me. For
Mm.
me, not because of what they said I should be, not because of what they said I should do, but for me. And I'm proud, I never actually put a perm ever in my daughter's hair, ever. They're
Okay.
adults, they've never had a perm. Ever,
Okay.
ever, had a perm. And this is even before, but I did used to take them to get their hair straightened from the Dominicans.
Right.
I did. They were with me.
Yes.
But I've never put a perm in their hair because I never felt comfortable with the scent and the smells, and the people that I actually seen with perms, their ponytails would get shorter and shorter and shorter. Their hair got straighter and straighter, but they got less and less. It was breakage. It was brittle. It was balding. The edges were leaving.
Right.
Nothing about it showed healthiness. And then when they put grease in their hair, I always hated that grease, and then with the curl, and it would just look so heavy and unhealthy. And I never liked that.
It didn't sit well with you. Yes.
It didn't sit well. Something didn't sit well with that particular thing. And I know a lot of people that did wear perms, and they fried their hair because they didn't understand that if you are going to straighten your hair, you have to put things in your hair that protects it against the heat, meaning that you have to have like a butter or oil or a serum that burns at a higher rate than what you're about to put on your hair.
Exactly.
If you're going to put something at 350 on your hair, you have to put something on your strands to protect it that burns at 425. Want to know why? 75 degrees higher than the heat that you're going to put on your hair. So it's going to build a seal or a protectant on your strands. Right. But you have to understand the chemistry of what you're doing to yourself and what you need to do to protect yourself. It's like living. That's why I'm bringing up regular life, because everything is in this. The Father is so grand because he puts everything in the sense of an order. You have to protect yourself. You have to invest in yourself. He says, study to show yourself approved. You have to study these things.
Yes,
you have to study what it is that you're doing for you and to you in order to get a better benefit of what you can do for yourself. Absolutely. In order to be the person that you were built or designed to be by him, not by you. They always say, oh, this is my life. I do what I want. The two things that you need to live. Yes, you wake up and you do all that and you move and the two things that you need to live is your heartbeat and your oxygen. Guess what? You don't even breathe on your own, and your heartbeat is not run by you.
That's right.
Those are two things that still belong to the Father.
That's right.
They are not your life, and whenever he wants that time to stop, it stops.
That's right. There's an appointed time.
You don't even belong to you. So you were designed for something. You were designed for a reason, and what he placed on your head was designed by him for you. You have to love that. You have to appreciate that. There's no way you can say, I love him, but I don't love what he made of me.
Wow.
I love him, but I don't love the design of situations that he has sent me through, because everything's an exchange. A lot of times we're like, well, I'm not in this situation. I don't deserve this. Maybe, but maybe it's something in you that you have to filter out. Yes. And so maybe a person that you're with, say you have somebody that's very argumentative and they don't understand and they don't care. Well, that's what you feel like, right? Maybe that person's in your life because you were there to show them mercy. Yes. To know what mercy is looking like. Yes. So that you can instill that spirit in them, right? And maybe they're in your life getting on your last nerve because you yourself need to understand patience. Patience, absolutely. So it's an exchange of something. Yes. Every instance is an exchange of a lesson that you must realize of what it is. You are so when I cut my hair, it was an exchange of a lesson for me. It was an exchange of, I'm giving you back what you said belonged to you, that belongs to you, and I'm going to take back what belongs to me. Let's trade, because I need me back. I need me back. Because me, I have a purpose, and I have something that the Father had told me I needed to do. Now, I don't know what it is yet, but I know that I need me to do. That's right.
That's right. And
I need me.
you can't have you being somebody else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everything is a transaction.
That's right.
Everything is a transaction.
Mhm.
It's not always monetary. There's
Mhm.
spiritual transactions. When you straighten your hair, there's a transaction.
Yes.
You have forfeited yourself and you had took on them. When you have sat up there and gave your scalp health and your trust into them, you
Mhm.
have given up your trust in the person who created you. Everything is a transaction. You have given in order to receive. But you getting the short end every time.
Sounds like sowing and reaping to me. Sowing and reaping.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Sowing and reaping.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You giving up good seeds to take the seeds that don't grow.
Wow. Giving up our birthright all the time, right?
For dormant. For dormant, and we're becoming dormant within ourselves. We are just dormant trees that with no leaves.
Wow.
We are literally shedding our leaves. Every time you put a perm on, there's another leaf shedded. Every time you put those eyelashes on your, it's like it's detrimental to you as a person.
Wow.
It really is. And it's an exchange. People don't understand
powerful.
The exchange. And that's what I want to let our sisters know, that if we can just exchange what we were told, that we were ugly, we were not good enough, that this hair is just, I'm not my hair. Yes, you are, honey. You are.
Yes.
You are everything that you were built to be.
Yes. Don't believe the song, because that hair is living. Y'all made it for a reason. He put that certain hair. There's no such thing as good hair. It's all good because he let it grow out of your scalp. And hair is living. It's so funny that we're talking about this because I told my husband weeks and weeks ago, I was talking to him about hair helping you grow your soil, your food and your soil and all that. So I forgot I even told him, because I tell him so much. But I told him this, and he told me he was going to cut his hair. I was like, okay, it's a pencil show. But then I came downstairs and I looked in the corner of the window and I was like, what is that? So it's like this napkin with hair in it. And I was like, why is your hair in this napkin? He's like, well, I saved it for you because you said that, hair grew, your plants. And I was like, oh my goodness, I forgot that I told him that, and it's true. So we started this yesterday, I just put it in a new plant that I potted and all that. So we're going to see how much energy comes from it, from the Father, because he puts these things together for a reason. But it is our duty to search out all these matters to see what he would have us to do with them. So I was so thankful in that. But this is a very fruitful conversation. And I'm so thankful that you came on with so much knowledge, because, you could come on here and just sell your products and say, oh, this does that and that does this. But it is important that we search our hearts and know why we do certain things, even know why we had done things in the past. Even if we've come out of them, it's still important to reflect, because that reflection acts as a testimony unto other people, just like you talked to us about you completely cutting off all your hair because you knew that this whole thing is just unhealthy and I need to find me. How many of us, even though we have found what we call the truth, we still haven't found us. We haven't come out of these bad ways and these bad situations. Although we are in this new truth, we still have dragged all these bad ways, into our new situations. We definitely do not want that. So I am so thankful and blessed that you came on and you're talking to us about this, but we definitely need to tell everybody about your product. So I've got the website pulled up here and it's beautiful. I'm telling you, we could totally talk forever. So we definitely want to shop with you, sister. It says fruit of our hand. So you got some, is this body butter here? What are we looking at?
No, that's actually hair butter. It is a hair butter, and I have 3 different lines. They focus on 3 different things. All 3 focus on scalp health. All 3. Okay. But because basically, like I said, anything that grows starts from the root. That's so right. Basically what we focus on is the root of the problem, your scalp. So all 3 focuses on scalp health, but one, which is Rapunzel, focuses on not only on health, but to reconstructure the follicles that have been damaged, as well as growth and thickness. So a lot of us don't understand that thickness, the reason why your hair thins out is because of all of the neglect that we have on our scalps. So there's tension pulling, and then there's the perms, and then there's the wigs, and there's things that we're snatching our hair out by the roots. Eventually, the follicles go dormant and they stop producing because of the neglect. Now, these things regenerate those things. It gets them back moving because it gets the health back into it. So
now, let me tell you what I have discovered. Now, I used to be a wigger. I wore wigs and all that stuff. But now, of course, we wear head wraps. And some of us question if we have to wear head wraps all the time. Talk to us about our scalp actually needing to breathe.
Absolutely. Let me tell you, and it needs sun. Okay. We need at least 45 minutes of sun a day, usually, in order to produce the vitamins that they say vitamin D, but it is a hormone. Okay. Within the body that helps even with bone density and with anything. That's why a lot of people, when they see the dermatologist, they also talk about their hair. It's a form of your hair. It's an extension of your skin. It's just a different formula, but it's just as important as your skin.
Yes,
literally.
It's all connected. I believe you.
Exactly.
Because this is kind of a different topic. And I think I talk about things multiple times because who knows who's hearing what, but every time they remove something from our body, anything, it's all interconnected. Like, you know, even when your dentist is getting that fat paycheck for removing your teeth, it's all connected to other parts of your body. There's a chart talking about how it's, you know, connected to your endocrine system and all this other. And they remove gallbladders, all of it is interconnected. They remove tonsils, it's all interconnected. So we have to work toward, first of all, repenting, you know, because sometimes we did not know, but repenting and trusting Yah to restore unto us, you know, that what we have lost, and giving us tools and information like this that will help us get it back. So with that, our scalp needing oxygen and air. So you said 45 minutes we should be in the sun, so that
getting some sun. Even if you have to open up the window, allowing that ray to hit you, you actually need sun, and you do need air. It does need circulation. It does need circulation on the scalp. Like I said, it's skin. And with anything that is skin related, it needs moisture. It needs breathing. Like everything has pores. Pores need air, circulation, breathing. Or you could smother it. And that's just a fact. It's a living thing. People are not understanding. It's living. It's a living thing.
So we need to detox too as well, right?
The detox. We need to clean our scalps. A lot of people say, "Hey, I don't wash my hair for weeks, or I don't wash it for months." And I've heard it more than one time. I literally have. And what I'm telling them is this: when you're putting more stuff on top of dirt, let's think about this. Your scalp is skin too. Imagine you don't wash your body for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, a month, and you're just still slathering on, baby oil, or you're putting on lotion, and you're just literally pushing the dirt from the surface of the skin into your pores. Oh man! And you're just that's not healthy, honey.
That's toxic.
That's not healthy. It's clogging. It's toxic. And then we don't understand the things that are in the air, the things that we come across. And when we're sleeping, we don't understand that we're shedding skin. We're shedding things. And so those things within itself are I'm sorry, my son walked in.
You went dark. There you go. Okay.
Okay. I'm sorry, my son had walked in, and somebody is.
You're okay.
My phone. I got you.
You're okay.
So these things within itself causes damage to our skin, our scalps. It's skin. People are thinking about it's just hair up there. They are literally forgetting about the skin beneath it. And the fungus. Think about this. If you don't grow, if you got dark places, warm places, and you're putting creams in your hair that already are not good for your hair, that are not natural, that have chemicals in there, and you have those damp places, you got damp hair and this and that, what grows in that? Fungus.
A fungus among us.
Fungus. You have scalp fungus. And then in those fungus areas, guess what happens? Hair loss. And with hair loss, what happens? Follicle damage. And with follicle damage, what happens? Less the hair and thinning. All of those things are connected to the neglect that you have within your own hair, within your own habits.
Okay. So we definitely need to educate ourselves, because even coming out of the wigs, and we go, from wigs to head wraps. There's some education that has to happen in between the wig and the head wrap. Because although you're wearing a head wrap, you want to make sure that you are cultivating a healthy scalp and hair underneath there.
Exactly.
So we have to make sure that we continue to educate ourselves. Like,
right.
This
and
is
a
not.
lot of us. I'm sorry. I do apologize.
No, you're okay.
Think that the lazy thing to do is they'll say, "Oh, I'm gonna just get locks," and locks have to be taken care of too.
Oh, yes, ma'am. That's why I didn't get them.
I don't want to comb my hair if I don't got to comb my hair if I get locks. Now, mind you, let me tell you something. I absolutely love locks. I adore them. I think that they're beautiful and they're high maintenance.
They are.
They're high maintenance and they are a form of healthy hair too. There's healthy locks and there's locks that are not healthy. That's why they're falling out piece at a time. You get your hair done and you got a full lock coming out because you are not taking care of your hair. You're not taking care of your scalp. You have to detox your scalp and you have to create a routine with your hair. Because you can literally train your hair on how it's detangled and you have to absolutely listen to your hair. Everybody has a different relationship with their hair and everybody's hair acts differently. There's no cookie cutter routine for everybody.
That's right.
Some people can get in the shower and they have to have water running down in order to detangle their hair. Some people, if they get in the shower and they go to brush their hair out and detangle it, it's breaking off. Why? Because they have thin hair or they have a certain different type of porosity. And there's something called drownings, too much water in your hair. That's why some people with certain hair types, they have to actually do a pre-poo, which has oils in it. Why? Because now those oils actually cover the hair and some of what is in your pores or your hair shaft gets oil that's going to seal in the hair and not all the water is going to come into the hair shaft that's going to make their hair weak.
Right.
You know what I mean? So sometimes for some people, their hair has to have a pre-poo. They cannot have too much water because their hair absorbs too much water and it makes their hair strand weak. So when they comb it or they brush it, they're losing clots of hair.
Right.
But you have to listen to your hair, but you have to first build a relationship with it. You have to know what works for you. And that's why I have like different lines for different hairs. There's different detangling methods. There's detoxes. There's refreshers, because like a plant, if you water it, it will grow. But you have to have a routine.
Well, sis, talk about this too. I'm not to interrupt you, but I'm like, so, hair was my thing. I was a hairdresser. So it's like, I'm still like closely with this thing. So now that we deal with it in this way, to where it's actually dealing with the health of the hair, because as we talked about, hairdressers don't always steer you in this direction. Talk about the fact that, you're telling us that, certain hair accepts certain things and other hair does not. Well, what about this? Like once you experience maybe the birth of a child or a hormone change or something, that your hair changes, and how to stay on top of that.
Absolutely. Now because of the surge of hormones, sometimes you experience thinning around the edges and the nape of your hair after having a baby. Now that is normal. That's something that is absolutely experienced, especially in our community. But that it all comes either diet as well, how you take care of your hair, because even your routine changes when you're pregnant. Because you don't want to keep your same routines and things of that nature. If your hair is becoming more dry and more brittle or things, and you're noticing that, or the vitamins that you're taking is changing the texture of your hair, then don't take your same products and use that product. The thing is prevention. If you change with your hair, then your hair will not experience so much damage after having a baby, actually. When you notice this becoming brittle or too dry, then you have to be more so getting more of a cream. A lot of times when we say, and oil is not, my gosh, let me say it again, oil is not a moisturizer, people. It is not. A lot of our people, put in, of shea butters, which is a form of like a hard oil. It's a butter, it's oil, regardless of the point. It's not a moisturizer. People don't understand that they have to get that. The brittleness is basically dry, dehydrated hair strands, and it needs help. Okay. go ahead and put that blast of not just regular water. Get you some hibiscus, some roses, something that is going to an affectant that's going to actually help with moisturizing or that dry hair. You want to do that because a lot of times that is what causes breakage and things of the from your roots. And when you're losing your hair here, don't stress it. Stress is going to break your hair out more.
Right.
All you're going to do is focus on herbs and things or products, people that actually focus on products that will help with those particular things. Like I have a line that I am coming out with that is going to be for mothers after babies. Because I know that that's coming up. I'm just waiting on my photo shoots. So I have a lot of products actually in here right now in my office that I have not gotten on the line yet because I took photos of it. I just hadn't uploaded them, but I do have a line coming out for mothers, new moms.
Wow. Well, that's a blessing. So let's move down and see some of the other products. You've got the locked and full set 7 Samson's blend. So I'm assuming this is dealing with the locks.
Yes, that's locks. I have detox bombs. A lot of people on that's one of the products, and that's within the full set. Detox bombs are when you just go ahead. It's a blend of certain products that allow you to loosen up the products that are stuck within the lock.
That's needed because I see a lot of people with lint in their locks. So yeah, that would
right. Yes,
yeah.
Okay. We need to stop the lint. We need to stop those things. We focus on how good, the retwist is, but we not, honey, you got 18 years of product in your hair. If washing your hair with locks is not going to clean it.
Oh.
I'm sorry, it's not going to clean it. It's just going to buffer the surface. It's not really going to get within the lock and get out. Because you notice how you get the locks, you dry and white white is disrespectful when you have locks and you haven't really cleaned them properly.
Right.
You go to dry your hair and then you got a dirty towel now. That's only because the products that you had within there is just saturated with dirt, oil, creams and things of that nature. So that's why I came up with the detox bomb, because it literally loosens and it pulls out all of the product, dirt and oil that are in those locks. I have had people tell me that their hair feels 5 and 10 pounds lighter. Wow. I've had people use this lock detox bomb and literally their water looks like mud water.
Wow, that is amazing. That I believe it, but again, it's about focusing on the health of the hair instead of just
and it detoxes the scalp as well.
Okay.
It detoxes the scalp. You take and it's pH balance to the scalp because we need to keep the balance. Okay. A lot of times that people think that, when you disrupt the pH, usually your body will formulate its hormones and it's back to its normal pH within 30 to 90 minutes. But what are you going to do between those 30 and 90 minutes? You're going to put anything that is off balance back into your hair. That's where we have the oil system after the detox bomb. We have the oil, the scalp oil that puts, the proteins and vitamins back into your scalp.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And you don't retwist with. A lot of people do retwist with, grease, pomades, gels,
beeswax, and all that.
Beeswax, and these are all things that clog the pores, and it does not help the health of the scalp. So oils that are not, scalp clogging and follicle clogging, these are those types of things. And it has, candula and rose, and these are things that are definitely Ayurvedic and good for the scalp. And then we have the refresher lock spray that not only helps with, moisturizing the locks, but it also helps to actually lock at the roots quicker because it does have the sea salt in there, because how they say in Jamaica, the ocean is what helps their hair lock.
Okay.
Well, I brought the ocean to you, but I've also packed it with minerals and oils and things that's going to help also regenerate the moisture back in your hair as well. So, because, that type of water does dry out your hair. That's why I have something to combat that. So that's what the whole lock system is.
So is the rose hibiscus the refresher you were talking about?
That's a different type of rose hibiscus. Doesn't have like because I don't want your hair that's loose to lock.
Okay.
That's just
No.
that rose hibiscus is literally just a boost, like a refresher boost
Okay.
for your hair. Once you've put in your hair butters in, I've
Mhm.
come out, I'm putting it on my site. I have also now a curly cream,
Mhm.
that adds the moisture, because a lot of people feel better with creams versus butters.
Right, right.
Well, that is a daily refresher, basically. You just spray it on your hair. If you don't saturate, you spray, and it will basically reboost the moisture that you've already had locked in your hair from the oils and the creams.
That is
So that's
amazing.
what hibiscus. I have people like, I just need more spray because they
Right.
love just the scent of it within itself. It's refreshing, and it does have, I do have peppermint and
Mhm.
things in there, things that causes, good blood circulation on the scalp. Why? Because blood is life.
Blood is
So I'm going to
life.
bring in everything that's going to bring the blood circulation back to the scalp, and with circulation comes growth.
Okay, and I see here that your promise is you're going to provide non-toxic chemicals, or you do provide non-toxic chemicals, and they work for the human ecosystem equilibrium. They're biodegradable products. They're nature conserving, and the materials are renewable and recyclable. That is very helpful to know, because that means you are promoting in the area afterwards as well. Like you're making sure that everything, the earth is being cared for, basically.
Absolutely.
And that's good to know. So it's just, if they want to go to your website, or if they want to know more information, basically, what website would they go to? Tell me your website info.
If they want to purchase, they go to fruitsofherhand.com.
Okay.
But if they want to know just about my products, how you use them, they have videos. I have my Instagram, which is Fruit of Her Hands with a Z
Yes.
at the end. And I have Yapha Yael, which is on Facebook. I do give, hair tutorials. I'm not very faithful in them a lot of the times because I'm always making products, but I've got my new segments coming up, which is to show you how to use the products within itself. Because a lot of the time we get products and we just use them.
Right.
We don't know that there's a system. I do try to be diligent with giving hair instructions, or, hey, this is how you would use this particular product.
Yes.
But like I said, not everything is cookie cutter for everyone.
Right.
But I do suggest, I have a suggestion of how to use your hair, how to deeply moisturize your hair, just within itself, but taking care of itself, how to detox your scalps, how to lock in moisture using steam, opening up those pores and really getting that product in your scalp, because these are things that need to happen in order to generate healthy hair. You know what I mean? We have to start with the scalp. So it's a lot of tutorials that I have going on in those sites that help you understand how to use the product. A lot of people will just take some butter and put it on their hand and slap it on their hair, but no, there's something you need to start with a clean palette. Let's just talk about that.
You talking about me. I slap it on and keep it going, but
you gotta start with a clean palette. You gotta start with a clean palette.
Yes.
I have that's why I brought out my shampoo. Well, it's gonna be there. My shampoo bar, my Ayurvedic bar. I will actually show it to you.
Yes, show us the lab.
I actually have this here. This is where you massage your scalp with this part.
Okay.
And it has, look, it's herbs all through it.
Oh,
because
wow.
I don't want just to clean your scalp. I also am going to offer herbs within the cleaning. Okay. So it's not just stripping your hair, it's actually giving back. Okay.
Wow. That is a blessing. Now, let me ask this, sis. Do you have a promotional code right now that you'd like to share with everyone?
I actually do not. I have to generate a promotional code, but you know what? I promise you what I'll do is I'll email you this promotional code. Okay. I'm wanting to give at least 15% off the first purchase.
Okay.
Well, and then I will be, I have to generate it. My sister helped me a lot with this website thing. Right. I'll tell you, I'm more so of a lab. Let's get some things together with the butters. And she'd be like, girl, okay, I'm gonna help.
Yeah. Well, hallelujah for a sister that wants to help a sister. That is a blessing. So what we'll do is, like, when we generate everything that we need to for the show to go forth, we will make sure that in our flyer we do put a promo code there. So so they will know. But let me make sure that you give any last words that you have, because this has been very therapeutic for me and informational. And I'm sure that everyone will be blessed by this information, because, you know, we just jump into life. You know, we, like I said, we go from wigs to hair wraps and what is in between. We definitely need somebody to help us. We need somebody to walk us through what it is that we should be doing concerning us. Like, it's time, like you said, to take care of ourselves. And we have not done that. And it's even showing today. You might wonder why your hair is falling out. It may not be because you have an imbalance in your body. It may be just that you don't know what you're doing concerning your hair. You're used to a microwave fast food lifestyle, to where you just slap it on and go. That is not taking care of you. So why not invest in yourself and sit down and learn through a tutorial how to use these wonderful products and find out what it is that you actually need. So we want to make sure that you tell the people whatever you need to tell them. Lastly, before we go out.
Okay. Basically, I want to leave you with two things. I'm going to leave you with encouragement of, you are absolutely beautiful. And there's nothing that the Father has given you that you don't deserve to appreciate. Let me say that again. You don't deserve to appreciate. You are supposed to appreciate you, all of you. And by appreciation, that means like you would with any relationship, because it's in a relationship with your hair. You have to build a relationship with your hair. And just like any relationship you get into, you expect a give and a take. Okay. What you give your hair is what you're going to get from it. If you give your hair neglect, it's going to leave you. It's going to neglect you as well. It is a relationship that you must take your time to invest in.
Absolutely.
Okay? Absolutely. You have to invest in knowing your hair, because it's actually in retrospect. I'm sorry, my tongue.
It's okay.
In retrospect, getting to know you. You are getting to know yourself. And I was thinking about hydro. I was about to say something about water, and it just, my brain. But in retrospect, you are actually getting to know yourself. You have to keep your hair hydrated. You have to, just like you would hydrate the body, hydrate your hair. Again, it's all in exchange.
It's all an exchange. Sowing and reaping is just like breathing. Well, sis, we want to thank you. We definitely will be invested in your products. Fruits of her hands with a Z. Yes.
Fruit of her hands was actually Fruits of Her Hand is what it is. But on Instagram, it is Fruit of Her Hands with a Z. And the reason being is because Fruits of Her Hand was actually taken and I couldn't use it. So I got the Z, and I promise you, I would have used an S, but it was not available.
Well, it's okay. Z is trendy. It's okay. It's perfectly all right. Well, this has been Sister Yapha. I want you all to make sure that you invest in the product, because investing in the product, you are investing in yourself.